Welcome to the 2025 edition. Can you believe it? Another football year is right upon us. We want to welcome our new coach, but he's not a new coach. Coach Andy Dyer. This is the Andy Dyer Coaches Show, sponsored by Slabco, McGee Heating and Air, and Lake Russell Building Supply. It's always good when you have a coaching change, but it's somebody that was already there. This isn't your first rodeo as a head coach. You've been all over the place, so it's really good for me and us, and I know Blue Devil Nation, to have you as our head coach now. And for me personally, I didn't think you would, but I sure am glad you did.
Well, I appreciate it. It's obviously a great honor to be here, and I've been in the weight room with these kids for, I guess, the last 3.5 years, and so it's they're part of my family because we're together more than I am with my own family.
Sure, absolutely. So, again, congratulations. We've been through spring, summer, 7-on-7s, fall practice, and here we are, game time. So after all you've seen all that, tell us where you feel like we are. How do you feel about the team overall?
Well, I feel really good about where we are. Kids have worked extremely hard in all phases that we've worked on, as far as that goes. So to me, it's a high school football season is a continuous build, and you want to continue to put bricks on the foundation and keep building the house. And so, as I told the kids, it's August, it's all hands on deck, and so the more young men that we can get in and play significant roles on offense, defense, and the kicking game, then the better we are. So we had a great summer. We had a lot of success in our 7-on-7s, just executing what we're trying to do. And so, you stack all that up, and you get to the first ball game, and you hope that the kids have got a lot of confidence in what we're doing and a lot of confidence in themselves.
So I looked at the roster, and we graduated, I think, 17 last year, something like that. So in my mind, I'm saying we are going to be really young next year, but we're really not. I looked at it this morning and yesterday, and I think we've only got 2 freshmen maybe that start, and then we've got a lot of juniors and seniors, so we're really not young.
Yeah, we're it's young is a relative term, right? So so it's about experience for the kids,
Sure.
and then if you have a young, a 9th, 10th grader, even 11th grader that has had varsity experience, I think a lot of that comes down to their moxie and whether or not they understand alignment and assignment and they're able to compete, not just physically but mentally in what's about to go on.
Coach, this is being an archer like you were for so many years and played at the highest level of football in the state of Georgia. But this is just different. When you're in a smile, I always kid Shannon about coming home. But I won't say it means more, but maybe it means more. And when you're talking about Hart, Stevens, and Lincoln County, and
Sure.
I throw Wesleyan in there because I don't know why that you let Shannon talk you into this after he scheduled you like he did. Because I think we've got the toughest 4 starting games to start the season off with. But I was just real curious about how you felt about scheduling and what did you do at Archer as far as I call pre-season, pre-region schedule.
Yeah.
But
no doubt. So to me, that's real easy. You go find the absolute best football teams in the world and you go play them. And so that's the only way that you build your team and you put your kids in that tough environment. Physically, it's a tough environment. You're playing against good coaching staffs, good players, and so that's what builds and molds your team. And thankfully in high school football, we're not like the power, the big boys where you lose 2 and your season's over. For us, we're constantly building to get to that region schedule, and then ultimately the 3rd season of the playoffs. And so if you don't schedule hard, and then you're not going to be tested when it really, really matters.
Coach, do we have any? I noticed. I didn't think I saw any, but our coaching staff looks like it pretty much stayed the same. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, sir. We added Coach Kiesler on staff, and he's coaching the running backs, and he just brings a ton of experience, and it's awesome for me to have him. And then I brought in Quinn Miller, who played linebacker for me at Archer, He was a heavyweight wrestler at the University of Virginia, and Quinn was. I could easily put Quinn in my top 3 or 4 football players I've ever coached, and so having him here, getting his career started, is an honor for me to see him get rolling.
Well, that's great. We'll take a break. We'll be back to preview the Elbert Hart game coming up Friday night. We'll be back right after this. This is the Coach Andy Dyer Coaches Show. Welcome back to the Coach Andy Dyer's Coaches Show. It's sponsored by Slabco, McGee Heating and Air, and Lake Russell Building Supply. Every year, it seems like we're starting with Hart now. Elbert Hart, what do you say? I mean, you're talking about Lowndes Valdosta. You're talking about all the heated rivalries, and you can call it heated, across the state of Georgia.
Yep.
This one's right up there in the top. So I've always asked all the other coaches, outside of the rivalry, what do you say to your kids in the locker room before you come out on a heated rivalry? Try to keep your emotions in check and your mental state clear with all that crowd that's going to be extra stuff that goes along with it.
Yeah, so, and this isn't just coach speak, this is what I preach Monday morning starting the week. We're big on alignment assignment, okay, and then playing your tail off, and that's the 3 things that matter to me. On defense, it's no long runs, intercept the deep ball, and be great tacklers. And then on offense, it's take care of the football, win first down. That's critical that you win first down, especially in these big games. And then, just getting to the kids, hey, the big plays will come. We're not going to force these things. They'll come when they come. And so if we're all taking care of our responsibilities, and so you got to settle them back in, because once the ball's kicked off, all the other stuff's gone. And so getting those guys settled in, get them focused on their job is number one, the hardest thing to do. But when your kids are mature enough and they finally grasp that, then you're going to start to create consistency, and then you have the ability to create an elite football team. But until then, you don't.
Coach, you just led me right into what I was going to ask you, because I love to ask coaches this. Elbert Hart, it is what it is. It's everybody's got a rival, and this is, I think, per capita size. I don't know if there's anything quite like this. But Coach, is interesting. I get to go up there because part of the business I'm in up at the Napa store, we have one in Hartwell that I work at on Thursdays. I do the outside sales for them, and I'm right there with those guys. I go to their school and I do all that. But we've had a lot of conversations through the years about how many times after the Elbert Hart game, the next football game for both schools are some of the worst games you play. And the whole point there is, we know it's Elbert Hart, but Coach, this is game 1 of a long, long season, and you've got Stevens and you've got all this stuff coming up. How do you work with your team when you realize the game is not going to be the bottom end of the story after the 4th quarter this Friday night?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we're, like I said, if you have a process to what you're doing, and you're trying to put building blocks within your team, and you're focused on just yourself, then that takes care of that. And obviously, it's you want to come out of the chute, you want to win the first ball game, no doubt. And it's awesome playing those guys. I have a tremendous amount of respect for how many years this game's been played. I think that's just, for me as a football fan, I love it, Yeah. But as a football coach, we've got to settle in, we've got to play ball. And, those kids, when they get rewarded for alignment, assignment, doing the things the right way, and they get feedback by having success, then they get confidence. And so that's my ultimate goal. And everything else will fall into place from there.
Hart is not a young team. I think Marvin said, Marvin goes up there and talks. He's our research guru for Elbert County.
Awesome.
And they are bringing back the majority of their roster from last year. So what are we expecting out of Hart this year?
Well, I think offensively, they've got really, really big, strong, fast tailback. So number one, we got to be able to stop the tailback. Quarterback is electric. He'll probably be the fastest kid on the field Friday night. He's got great speed. Their tight end is a super football player, really good player. And then their two outside receivers got good foot speed as well. So first thing you got to do when you're playing a team, they're going to run the football, okay? And so you've got to be able to stop the run on first down and defend the deep ball when they play action. And so, you know, and those are things that we'll preach every week, no matter who we're seeing. So Corey does a great job. I've coached against Corey for many years. Even back in Gwinnett, we battled each other. Our teams battled each other. And he does a great job, and he's a great coach. And so, for me, you know, like we tell the kids, hey, if I'm going to go play one-on-one, I want to play Michael Jordan. And so let's go play.
That's right.
Coach, before we get out of here, I got to say something to him, Stuart. Up at the store, it's kind of like a male beauty shop.
Oh,
We get
yeah.
it's kind of like Hoosiers in the barber shop. We get all that in there, and that's a great thing. That's what makes being special in Elberton and coaching football in Elberton. But I just want to tell you how thankful I've heard the community say and happy that you took this job. I know this is not your first coaching job. I know where you've been. I know where you're at. But I'm very thankful that you said yes.
Well, thank you.
And you're a quality man. And Stuart and I can attest to this. I can't remember many away games that the first face we saw once we got there was yours. You always came over and said something to us, and we really, really appreciate that. Just to have that, and I want you to know that the kids love you.
Yeah,
Now, maybe sometimes not as much as others,
That's
but I will
okay.
tell you this: just from talking to several of the kids, they're all in, and I think in this day and time, with kids being different than we were when we were young, if you can get them to buy in, you got a chance.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Blue Devil Nation, it's Elbert Hart Friday night in Hartwell, just right up the street. You've been there 100 times, make it 101 and be the 11th or 12th and 13th man on the field. It's going to be loud, and the kids really need that 12th man.
Absolutely.
When they
Back
do
it
something good, stand up, cheer, scream, holler, clap. They need it, and they appreciate it. So be in Hartwell Friday night. Until next week, this has been the Coach Andy Dyer Coaches Show, sponsored by McKee Heating and Air, Lake Russell Building Supply, and Slabco. We will see you next week.